For the inaugural session, may I request Ms. Prachi Brobra, jewelry designer and IMA Women Conclave Committee member, to take over the further proceedings. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I request everybody to settle down. Here we are again, for the first time, bringing you the Women Leadership Conclave by Indore Management Association. Our small effort to identify and recognize the talent, have meaningful conversation with them, which can ignite our minds. Today, we have these exceptional self-made women from all over the country, from up north Leh to down south Andhra Pradesh, from far east Orissa to Bollywood. You can call them stars, champions, winners, or masters in their respective fields. But let's look at it this way. They have come from among us. It's the mere distance from these chairs to the stage, but to cross that, they have put in hours, days, and years, and have been relentless towards a purpose with passion. We all have potential to do something great. It's just that we have not realized it yet, and they have. तो आज हम जानने की कोशिश करते हैं कि what did they do differently? Let's get to know them up close, their approach to life, and their journey to success. So, here are the speakers for the day on the screen. Incredible, right? So a lot of you must be attending the conclave for the first time. I know it's a women conclave, so you are expecting women speakers on the stage all day. But off stage too, you can see only women around you, right? That's by design. We cherish our female friendships and hang out with them to unwind, spend quality time, and fill each other's cups. So our idea was just that, to create a safe space to have honest conversations, share unfiltered experiences, and hear from someone who we can see as a role model, because representation really matters. Today, try to mingle here, get to know new people, and then take away with you a real asset, a network of like-minded people. I know how seriously we Indoris take our food, but today, while devouring during the tea and lunch breaks, focus on something else too. Go up to someone new, break the ice, and make a connection. And we have made it very easy for you. All of you have a badge with a chosen field of expertise printed. For example, arts, technology, spirituality, that you chose while registration. So if you're interested to know more about the field or find someone who shares your interest, strike up a conversation. It's time we get out of our comfort zone, strive for enlightenment over ignorance, and pray for knowledge over darkness. In this pursuit of wisdom, we light a lamp and receive blessings and prosperity for a bright future. I request our inaugural speakers, Ms. Karuna Gopal Vartakavi and Ms. Gitanjali Angmo, with our dignitaries to join us for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. Mr. Naveen Khandelwal, President of IMA, Honorary Secretary Ms. Chani Trivedi, Ms. Shonali Paul, Board Member of IMA, and Ms. Anubha Anand from Punjab Jewels. क्या अंधकार से डरना अब, आओ सूरज बन जाते हैं, धरती अंबर के नम सारे जिससे डर हट जाते। Thank you to our dignitaries for gracing us with your presence today. Now, it's time to meet our multifaceted speakers for the first session. And who are they? Let's find them on the screen. The speakers for the inaugural session are Ms. Gitanjali J Angmo and Ms. Karuna Vartakavi. Ms. Gitanjali Angmo is the founder and CEO of HIAL. Can we have the AV, please?
Speaker identified. Gitanjali J Angmo, codename The Mind Liberator. Power moves, breaking boxes wide open, unlearning rules that no longer serve, and reminding us that education isn't about fitting in, it's about becoming fully human. Current mission: to unschool the mind from the peaks of Ladakh, where classrooms look like mountain trails and wisdom comes from experience. Ripple effect: restless curiosity, fearless ideas, and the sudden urge to rewrite the rules of learning. Please welcome the educator, the seeker, the agent of spirit and change, Gitanjali J Angmo.
Now, can we have the AV for Ms. Karuna?
Speaker identified. Karuna Gopal Vartakavi, codename The Futurist. Vision arsenal. Core strengths. She can see cities before they exist. She can turn policies into people-powered revolutions. And she steps onto global stages from Moscow to Harvard, carrying India's vision of innovation to the world. Current chapter. Reimagining cities as living, breathing ecosystems. She doesn't just plan for tomorrow, she sculpts it, ensuring innovation and inclusivity walk hand in hand. Ripple effect. Expect debates, fresh ideas, and the urge to redesign the world around you. Please welcome the visionary, the strategist, the trailblazing agent of future cities, Karuna Gopal Vartakavi.
I'm thrilled to welcome them and our Dynamics IMA Secretary Ms. Chani Trivedi, Vice Chairperson of Sri Aurobindo Group of Institutes, to lead our illustrious inaugural speakers, Ms. Gitanjali J Angmo, Founder and CEO of HIAL, Founder of Transform India, Leh Ladakh, and Ms. Karuna Gopal Vartakavi, BJP National In-Charge, Women Policies and Research, India, to the stage. Thank you and welcome. You are in the cleanest and onto the becoming a smart city Indore. एक परंपरा होती है अतिथि का स्वागत करने की। इस बार हमारी आईएमए टीम ने कुछ हटकर पहल करी है। ऐसा स्वागत जिससे देश और समाज दोनों का फायदा होने वाला है। A very meaningful and thoughtful gesture to contribute to girl-child education, skill development, and climate change through tree plantation on behalf of our speakers. We would like to present you a special appreciation video celebrating the contributions done on behalf of Ms. Gitanjali for girl-child education. Let's have the video.
मैं अनुष्का हूँ। मैं गीतांजलि दीदी का धन्यवाद देती हूँ जो IMA वुमेन कॉन्क्लेव में आई है। उन्होंने मुझे FPS युवा के कंप्यूटर सीखने में सपोर्ट किया है। धन्यवाद।
I request Ms. Anju Chopra, Principal of Satyasai School, to present the Certificate of Appreciation. This is a certificate for the contribution we did on behalf of Ms. Gitanjali for a girl child education. And now we present you a special appreciation video celebrating the contributions done on behalf of Ms. Karuna for climate change through tree plantation. I request Ms. Megha Makode, DGM Volvo Aisha, to please come up on the stage to present the certificate.
On behalf of Indore Management Association, a plantation drive was organized by FTS Yuva for the Women's Conclave. We are really thankful to Ms. Karuna Vartakavi for attending the Women's Conclave, and in her honor, we have planted this sapling.
It's a cause very close to Ms. Karuna. Now, I ask Ms. Chani Trivedi to give us a peek into what is IMA and our conclave.
Thank you, Prachi. Good morning, everyone. Coco Chanel once said that a woman should be two things: who she is and what she wants to be. And looking around this hall, I can already see both. Women owning who they are and daring to be what they want. That's exactly the spirit this conclave celebrates. And yes, this conclave has become so much more than an event. It's a tradition, a celebration, a reminder that together we shine. For those new to Indore Management Association family, let me give you a quick snapshot. The Indore Management Association, founded over 6 decades ago, is today one of the most vibrant and respected management associations in the country. We are proud to share that we've been recognized by All India Management Association as the best local management association, not once, not twice, but this year, the 18th time, and that too in an upgraded category. Which means we are not just consistent, but we are evolving. Our work spans across entire spectrum of learning and leadership conclaves and summit that brings the best minds together, skill building workshops, corporate doorstep training, knowledge forums in HR, IT, startups and business, student chapters, women forum, industry visits, and of course, our flagship awards that celebrates excellence. In short, IMA is not just only an association, but it is an ecosystem where ideas are exchanged, skills are sharpened, and leaders are nurtured. The Women Forum is where we take the ethos forward, creating spaces where women professionals can connect, grow, and lead. Because leadership, we believe, is not a title, but it is a mindset. And this conclave, it's an annual celebration of that mindset. What started during COVID in a casual con call with our president, Mr. Naveen Khandelwal, has grown into one of the most looked forward to events in our calendar. This year marks the 4th Women Leadership Conclave. What makes our Women Conclave unique is that it is organized by women, attended by women, and every speaker is a woman. But this conclave isn't about stereotypes of empowerment speeches or heavy theory. It's about leadership straight from heart. It's about stories, experiences, laughter, sometimes even failures, and the joy of saying, I've been there too. Our theme this year is Bolder, Brighter Together with the hashtag #SheShines. And we took the spirit of She Shines beyond today through our Shine Circles and initiative where women came together across the city to connect and grow. So as we open the 4th Women Leadership Conclave, let's remind ourselves that this is not just another event. This is women breaking the mold of what a conclave looks like. And honestly, It's about having a good time, because when women come together, magic always happens. You've heard the theme, you felt the energy. But how do we really describe what went behind making this happen? Let me tell you. Coffee ke mugs or WhatsApp ke pings. Planning nights with 100 things. Deadlines tight, but spirits light. We still showed up, full of fire, full of fight. Some brought ideas, some brought flair. Some said, chalo ye bhi kar lete hain, why not dare? No drama, no rivalry, only hype and cheer. That's why this conclave is shining here. So here's our mantra, simple but clever. Bolder, brighter, together. And if someone asks how women win every time, just smile and say, because she shines. Welcome to IMA Women Leadership Conclave 2025. Every edition of this conclave has left us with special memories. Let's look at the journey so far. May I request the AV team to play the last 3-year conclave video, please.
She shines bolder, brighter, together a flame that will burn forever. Hand in hand, we light the way. She shines brighter every day, bell, why bolder? Bold is not noise, not empty cries. It's courage to rise, to question, to try. Why brighter eye? Ideas that shine, and hearts that guide. Hope is the torch inside. Why together? Because change is shared, by voices united, by hearts that care. She shines bolder, brighter, together a flame that will burn forever.
Wow, that made me nostalgic. It's amazing to find these incredible women every year when we make our list. There's so many. And we hope this keeps going on. Thank you, Chani. Now, to begin our conclave, we start with an unconventional and a revolutionary educationist. She's transforming communities and raising a very Kabil generation in Ladakh. I'm sure आप सबने 3 Idiots तो देखी होगी. लेह का स्कूल याद है? बस ऐसी जगह जहाँ क्यूरियोसिटी को पूरा मौका दिया जाता है. ऐसे एजुकेशन सिस्टम की फाउंडर को करीब से जानते हैं. मिस गीतांजलि जे आंगमो.
नमस्ते, गुड मॉर्निंग, और जैसे हम लद्दाख में कहते हैं जूले. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. एक इवेंट जो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड बाय वुमेन, अटेंडेड बाय वुमेन एंड ऑल्सो एड्रेस्ड बाय वुमेन. शायद आपको आज की दुनिया की स्थिति के बारे में पता हो. बहुत सारी इश्यूज़ हैं, जैसे क्लाइमेट चेंज हो गया, देयर इज़ मेंटल इलनेस इंक्रीजिंग, वॉर्स रीजनल, और ये आप बता सकते हैं कि ये सब जो चारों तरफ वैल्यूज़ ब्रेक हो रही हैं या जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, उसका एक कारण क्या हो सकता है? Yes? Inflated ego generally is considered to be more a bastion of men. तो दुनिया में अभी मेल डोमिनेटेड लीडरशिप है. दुनिया के सिर्फ 6% कंपनी CEOs सिर्फ 6% हैं CEOs, Chief Executive Officers. If you look at national leaders, only 8% are women. If you look at prime ministerial and presidential candidates, only 2%. May we have quietness there, please? So only 2% of women leaders politically. And the world was not made this way. भारतीय परंपरा में शक्ति का कॉन्सेप्ट जो है, जो एग्जीक्यूशनिस्ट है, जो एग्जीक्यूट्रिक्स है, लीडर है, वो एक शक्ति को माना जाता है. वैदिक पीरियड में जब इस शक्ति का 50% रिप्रेजेंटेशन होता था, तो भारत बहुत ही फॉरवर्ड थिंकिंग प्रोग्रेसिव नेशन माना जाता था. तो इट्स टाइम दैट वी रिक्लेम द फेमिनिटी. व्हेन आई से वुमनहुड, आई डोंट मीन द जेंडर. जैसे आपने बाहर वो किताब देखी, वॉरेन बफेट ने लिखा है, इन्वेस्ट लाइक अ गर्ल, लीड लाइक अ वुमन. So even in the future, men have to lead like women, which is with patience, with thoughtfulness, taking everything together. If you see the way your grandmother ran the house, मुझे नहीं याद है कि कभी भी waste generate होता था. ये जो वेस्ट से आज हम सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी की बात कर रहे हैं, हमने 100 साल पहले जिया हुआ है. अगर हम रिसोर्स सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात करते हैं, तो आपको ये जान के बहुत हैरानी होगी कि संस्कृत और हिंदी लैंग्वेज में कोई सस्टेनेबिलिटी का वर्ड नहीं है. डू यू नो व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर वाज नो अदर वे टू बी अदर देन बीइंग सस्टेनेबल. सो नाउ ईगो, competition, all of these qualities, dominance, leadership, this is a very masculine way of being and leading. The world is crying for women, feminine leadership. And that's why I'm so glad that we are all here, this room full of women leaders. चाहे आप घर चलाते हो, चाहे आप organizations चलाते हो, चाहे आप देश चलाते हो, it is the same thing. Bring that feminine aspect. I have all my life tried to bring that unabashedly. Women जो successful भी होती हैं आजकल, unfortunately, they do by becoming men in some way. That competitive. But we need to bring those other values. And I'll tell you my journey of how I have tried to live that and bring that into all that I've done. So the slides, please. बचपन से ही, I was born and brought up in a very small town of Orissa, though I am a Punjabi by birth, but I was born in Orissa. और dance was a very important part of any Oriya culture, so I learned Odissi dance. And till date, I continue to do and perform on stage. Years later, I came to know about integral education of Sri Aurobindo when I was 16, that it is mind over matter, कि हम किसी भी साल में कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, हम कितने भी, किसी भी age में, we can do anything. So I thought I'll try it out. So when I was 33 and a mother of a 3-year-old, I decided to take up the most difficult physical form of dance, and I studied Russian ballet. And जब मैं कुछ करती हूँ, तो I go to the best. I went to Kyiv, Ukraine, and learned from a prima ballerina. I got onto my point shoes and also performed on stage. This is Snow White at the age of 45. And then I thought that generally, शक्ति की मैंने बात की, जो कि एक तरफ महालक्ष्मी है, तो एक तरफ महाकाली भी है. और अगर हम सिर्फ ग्रेस और ब्यूटी फॉलो करेंगे, तो हम लीडर्स नहीं बनेंगे. तो मैंने सोचा कि let us try to see अगर the most fearsome form of martial arts I can learn, and after, and the one thing I did always, and as mothers, I must tell you, कि it was a second living with my son. So when I learned ballet, he also learned ballet with me. Today he's 23-year-old and still does ballet. Then when I started karate, I was 35. my son was 5. तो जब हमारे, when we have kids, life doesn't end. You can start it again with them. Rather than taking them to badminton courts and this and sitting, it's good to be with them. When I studied everything with him, gymnastics, piano, karate, he was so proud that other moms are just sitting and my mom is doing it. So your life begins again with your children, and you can keep reinventing yourself all your life. So we became black belts together, and the same hand that can do beautiful mudras can also break a tile, is what I learned. You don't have to give up strength and power in pursuit of grace and beauty. And my son also studied karate with me, and we became world champions in Pittsburgh in USA, both of us. So when you raise a boy by teaching him ballet, and when the mother does karate, you take care of gender neutrality without giving your children any lecture on gender neutrality or gender equality. So boys can dance and girls can do karate chops. This you can teach your kids with your own example. And this journey led me to Ladakh because we had, so I had set up 3 businesses. I was an entrepreneur. I had set up businesses in engineering, in healthcare, and publishing. And I was in the corporate sector. I was a gold medalist in physics. I did my MBA from Xavier Institute of Management. And then I did my MPhil in philosophy. So every time, you can keep growing. Your past doesn't define your future. अगर आपने इंजीनियरिंग की है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप फिल्म मेकिंग नहीं कर सकते या आप पोइट्री नहीं कर सकते. तो मेरी एजुकेशन ऐसे चलती रही, और मुझे ये लगा कि द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ इंडिया इज़ वी आर क्रिएटिंग इंडिविजुअल्स, एडल्ट्स, जो सोच नहीं सकते. आर colonized way of education makes us only better and better clerks and doers. इसलिए पिछले 10-20 साल तक बहुत कम भारत से नए प्रोडक्ट्स, इवन जो फ़ोन हम यूज़ करते हैं इंडियन फ़ोन्स नहीं हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर्स इंडियन नहीं हैं. तो वो जो इनोवेशन हम की बात करते हैं या इनोवेटिव एजुकेशन या एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, दैट हैज़ टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम किंडरगार्टन. एंड एजुकेशन इज़ दैट लीवर with which we can change everything. So with that in mind, I moved into the field of education because वहीं real change आ सकता है. All of us who are mothers and educators, I can promise you कि अगर हम 2 generation अच्छे से बड़े कर सकें, we'll be world beaters. No amount of policies, no amount of top down. It's only this free thinkers, confident doers and innovators जो भारत को बदलेगा. So I went into this, and the context was Ladakh. और जहाँ पर it does not rain, it's a desert. It is, life lives on glacial melts. Temperatures range from -30 to +30. And फिर मैंने सोचा कि वैसे rest of India is no different. पूरा भारत एक दूसरे से एरिया से में कितना अलग है. मेघालय में चिरापुंजी में जहाँ इतनी बारिश होती है, वहाँ जैसलमेर में डेजर्ट है, एक तरफ पहाड़ हैं तो एक तरफ ओशंस हैं. लेकिन हमारा जो करिकुलम है वो एक बोर्ड लिखता है, NCERT, CBSE, ICSE, पूरा भारत एक ही चीज़ पढ़ता है. जहाँ हमको अलग अलग इंटरवेंशंस की ज़रूरत है, अलग अलग पढ़ाई की ज़रूरत है. तो जो हम फर्स्ट पिलर की बात करते हैं वो है कॉन्टेक्स्चुअल एजुकेशन, कि एजुकेशन कैसे उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट को समझ के वहाँ की जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उसको सॉल्व करना ही इनोवेशन है, और उसी प्रॉब्लम के उसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट के रिसोर्सेज को यूज़ करके कुछ एंटरप्राइज बनाना ही एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है. तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट की समझ जब होती है तो फार फ्लंग जो जगह है जैसे ज़ांस्कार जो लद्दाख में है, वहाँ पर आप अगर 10 जने किसी घर चले गए तो वो आपको आराम से अकोमोडेट कर सकते हैं. उनके बड़े बड़े घर होते हैं जो उन्होंने खुद अपने हाथों से बनाए हैं, वो आपको 10 दिन तक फीड कर सकते हैं क्योंकि उनके पास बार्ली है जो उन्होंने खुद ग्रो की है, और वो आपको 10 कंबल दे सकते हैं जो उन्होंने खुद बुने हैं याक और पश्मीना शीप से, और वो आपको पूछेंगे भी नहीं कि आप कब जा रहे हो वापस। तो इसको मुझे अबंडेंस लगता है, मुझे ये डेवलपमेंट लगता है। और जब मैं अपने फ्रेंड्स के घर जाती हूँ जो मैनहट्टन में या लंदन में रहते हैं, वो एक बार से दूसरी बार आपको जब बाहर खाने लेके जाते हैं तो वो पूलिंग करते हैं पाउंड्स और डॉलर्स की। तो आई स्टार्टेड टू क्वेश्चन व्हाट इज़ डेवलपमेंट, व्हाट इज़ अबंडेंस। तो ये पता चला कि जो इंडिया का सिस्टम था ऑफ लोकल सस्टेनेबिलिटी, हमारे पुरानी जो सभ्यता थी उसमें 80% ऑफ आवर स्टेपल नीड्स वी ब्रॉट इट फ्रॉम द कॉन्टेक्स्ट। और अभी हम ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन्स की बात करते हैं, मल्टीनेशनल्स की बात करते हैं, ये बिल्कुल उल्टा है। आपने देखा होगा कि कैसे कोविड में यूएस की सप्लाई चेन्स जब ब्रेक हो गई तो वहाँ नॉर्मल रिटेल का खाना नहीं मिल रहा था। आज के दिन यूक्रेन और रशिया के वॉर के जब हो रहा है तो यूके में एनर्जी पॉवर्टी हो गई है क्योंकि वो वहाँ से एनर्जी लेते थे। तो कॉन्टेक्चुअल एजुकेशन बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है और मैं बताऊंगी कैसे। अगर आप इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट को देखेंगे जो मैंने अपने एयरक्राफ्ट से देखा, तो ये मुझे बताया गया कि यहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी सेटअप होनी है। तो आप सोच सकते हैं यहाँ क्या रिसोर्सेज हैं। इट्स अ कंप्लीट डेजर्ट, नॉट अ ड्रॉप ऑफ वाटर, नॉट अ ब्लेड ऑफ ग्रास, बट दैट्स द चैलेंज। अगर हम हमारे हायर एजुकेशन के बच्चों को ऐसी जगह पे इंटरवेंशन करने में सक्षम कर दें, कॉन्फिडेंट कर दें, तो वो जहाँ रिसोर्सेज हैं they'll fly. So we decided to set up the university very much here. और ये सब आइडिएशन हुआ कि 70% वहाँ ग्रीनरी और पानी लाना है, सिर्फ 30% ही बिल्डिंग्स। और ये धीरे धीरे जब हमने मास्टर प्लान बनाया तो जिस जगह पे -30 तक टेम्परेचर्स जाते हैं, हमने कनाडा या वेस्ट को देख के नहीं कॉपी किया, लेकिन हमारी सभ्यता 10,000 साल पुरानी है एंड द ओनली अनब्रोकन सिविलाइजेशन ऑन अर्थ, इंडियन सिविलाइजेशन, 10,000 years. So we must have done something right. We must know something how to live with nature. तो instead of colonized minds to look कि वेस्ट क्या कर रहा है, इफ़ वी गो बैक व्हाट वी डिड, देयर इज लॉट्स वी कैन लर्न। एंड वी डिड गो बैक टू द पैलेसेस इन लद्दाख जो कि 1500 साल से खड़े हैं, और ये सब मिट्टी के हैं, और हम मिट्टी के घरों को कच्चा घर कहते हैं, और इनको जो हम पक्का कहते हैं इनकी उम्र 60 से 100 साल तक है। तो भारत में 70% गाँव में जो लोग हैं वो आज भी कच्चा घर में रहते हैं, लेकिन 75 years के बाद भी कोई भी आर्किटेक्चरल कॉलेज या स्कूल इंडिया में नहीं है जो अर्थ आर्किटेक्चर के बारे में सिखाए। तो हयाल इज़ वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट इंस्टीट्यूट्स जिसके अंदर इको रिस्पॉन्सिव अर्थ आर्किटेक्चर का स्कूल है, और जहाँ हमारे बच्चे पास्ट जो भी है मॉन्यूमेंट्स उनसे सीखते हैं और कटिंग एज जो टेक्नोलॉजीज़ हैं उनको ब्लेंड करके ऐसे घर बनाते हैं। और ये घर ऐसे हैं जो जब -20 बाहर होता है, ये अंदर +20 होता है बिना कोई आर्टिफिशियल हीटिंग के। सो इसके लिए हमें वर्ल्ड ओवर रिकग्निशन मिला है, ग्लोबल अवार्ड फॉर सस्टेनेबल आर्किटेक्चर, क्रातेर का, अदर लियों का वर्ल्ड अर्थ कांग्रेस अवार्ड्स। और इसको हम अभी स्केल अप करके हमारा जो कार्बन फ्री ही नहीं, हमारा एनर्जी नेट ज़ीरो नहीं बट नेट पॉजिटिव है हमारा कैंपस, अराउंड 2 लाख स्क्वायर फीट, जो कि हर साल एटलीस्ट 6,000 टन्स ऑफ कार्बन बचाता है। यहाँ जो हम एयर कंडीशनिंग करके बैठे हुए हैं, मुझे तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल समझ नहीं आता हम ऐसा आर्किटेक्चर बनाते क्यों हैं भारत में। अच्छी खासी हमारी ट्रॉपिकल कंट्री है, इतना सूरज है बाहर और हम यहाँ आर्टिफिशियल लाइट्स लगाए हुए हैं। ये दिस इज़ ओके इन कनाडा जहाँ ठंडा है और बाहर सन नहीं है, या नॉर्दर्न यूरोप में, पर हमारे आर्किटेक्चर के स्टूडेंट्स और जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं दे जस्ट कॉपी, और हमको भी ऐसे अंधेरे रूम्स में बिठा के एंड देन हम 18 डिग्री में टेम्परेचर लाके जब बाहर 40 डिग्री है फिर हम कोट पैंट पहनते हैं इन अ ट्रॉपिकल कंट्री। आपको हंसी आएगी अगर कोई कहेगा कि यूके में जो 50 डिग्री पे रूम अगर वो रखेंगे लंदन में और धोती पहनेंगे तो हमें हंसी आएगी। पर हमारे माइंड्स इतने कॉलोनाइज्ड हैं कि एक 40 डिग्री के ट्रॉपिकल कंट्री में हम 18 डिग्री बना के कोट पैंट पहन के हमें नॉर्मल लगता है। सो दिस इज़ द कॉलोनाइज्ड माइंड जो कि इनोवेशन को रोक रहा है। जब तक हम खुद के हेरिटेज को नहीं समझ के, अपने खुद के कॉन्टेक्स्ट को नहीं समझेंगे, तो हम वर्ल्ड लीडर्स नहीं बन सकते, क्योंकि हम उनको कॉपी करते रहेंगे। एंड वेन एवर वी कॉपी, वी आर 50 years behind. To lead, we have to be based in our ethos, in our science, in our context. तो पूरा ये हमारा कैंपस है जो completely earth architecture, completely eco-responsive, 2 lakh square feet, और not generating any carbon. And rather, हमारी net metering में we feed to the grid. We are energy positive. जब पूरी दुनिया में लोग कॉप जो कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होते हैं वहाँ पर नेट ज़ीरो के लिए स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, इफ़ वी फॉलो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम्स और वास्तुशास्त्र, ये बिल्कुल वास्तुशास्त्र पे बेस्ड है, साउथ फेसिंग बिल्डिंग्स, ट्रैपिंग हीट एंड सो ऑन, we can become net zero and net positive. So we've not only built our own campus. अगर आप मिट्टी के घर को गरीबों के लिए बनाएंगे तो कोई टेकर्स नहीं होंगे, जैसे नैनो कार फेल हो गई थी. So we started building high-end resorts. क्योंकि when a rich person makes earth buildings, everybody wants to make it. They are the influencers. That's human psychology, marketing. So we made luxury suites, high-end hotels. तो हमने ये देखा कि 10 साल पहले जब लोग मिट्टी के घर बनाते थे तो रिच दिखाने के लिए उसको सीमेंट से प्लास्टर करते थे, और आज बिकॉज ऑफ आवर टेक्नोलॉजी जो सीमेंट के पे घर बना रहे हैं वो भी ऊपर मिट्टी का लेप लगा रहे हैं. सो दिस इज़ हाउ वी कैन बिकम आवरसेल्व्स unabashedly without the need to follow some other culture to feel elitist. और फिर हमने भारतीय आर्मी के लिए भी ये घर बनाए, क्योंकि गलवान और द्रास और ऐसे एरियाज़ में जहाँ वो सर्व करते हैं वहाँ बहुत मुश्किल होती है उनको, और हमारे बच्चे ये घर बनाते हैं ड्यूरिंग देयर कोर्स, एंड सो दे डोंट पे फीस इन आवर इंस्टीट्यूट, दे पे विद देयर स्वेट एंड क्रिएटिविटी. तो जो रिसर्च है वो एकेडमिक्स में पढ़ाया जाता है और वो एंटरप्राइज में स्केल अप होता है, और जो ये एंटरप्राइजेस सरप्लसेस जनरेट करते हैं वो बच्चों की फ़ीस समझ के उससे वो इंस्टीट्यूट चलता है. तो दिस इज़ हाउ एजुकेशन बिकम्स इंक्लूसिव फॉर ऑल. तो अभी ऐसा हमारा कैंपस है, एंड ऑल ऑफ यू आर रिक्वेस्टेड एंड टू कम एंड विजिट एंड फील फ्री. और ये जो 5 पिलर हैं, this is very much how women work and women leadership works. You know, women are grounded to the context. We make use of everything that is best. So we need to bring that aspect into our collective lives as well. I'll quickly take you through 4 other pillars. Second pillar हमारा है experiential, जो कि सब बच्चे खुद करके सीखते हैं, चाहे वो आइस स्तूपास बनाने हो विंटर्स में, और जो एक विलेज से शुरू हुआ वो अभी ग्रीनिंग करता है थ्रू ड्रिप इरिगेशन, एंड फॉर विच वी वन दिस रोलेक्स अवार्ड. और अभी ये नॉट ओनली 23 to 25 विलेजेस इन लद्दाख, बट स्विट्ज़रलैंड, चिली, गिलगित बल्तिस्तान, नेपाल, ये सब बन रहे हैं. और वी आर द ओनली इंस्टीट्यूट मे बी इन द कंट्री, वन ऑफ द वेरी फ्यू जिसका रिवर्स टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफ़र होता है. जैसे जो हमारे पैसिव सोलर हीटेड बिल्डिंग्स हैं वो थ्रू UNDP हैव गॉन टू अफ़गानिस्तान, दिस टू चिली एंड स्विट्ज़रलैंड. तो जब हम यंगस्टर्स को, अपने बच्चों को वो कॉन्फिडेंस देते हैं और वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने का मौका देते हैं, उन पे ट्रस्ट करते हैं और उनको ये कॉन्फिडेंस देते हैं अपने हेरिटेज में रह के कुछ करने का, तो जो इनोवेशंस हैं वो पूरे इंडिया तक जा सकती हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी नीड टू ब्रिंग इन एजुकेशन. तो दिस इज़ हाउ वी वर्क मेकिंग आइस स्तूपास. और लॉट ऑफ यू जो ले गए होंगे, आप लोग लेह में किसी होटल में रहते हैं और फिर गाड़ी लेके पूरे लद्दाख में घूमते हैं, तो बाकी के जो विलेजेस हैं उनको कोई इससे फ़ायदा नहीं मिलता, जस्ट पोल्यूशन, बॉटल्स और धुआं मिलता है। तो ये इक्विटेबल करने के लिए हमने हिमालयन फार्म स्टेज इंट्रोड्यूस किए और स्लो ट्रैवल इंट्रोड्यूस किया, जहाँ पर जस्ट ले के बड़े होटल्स में नहीं पर हर घर को एक होम स्टे बना दिया, ताकि जो टूरिस्ट हैं हमारे जैसे, दे गेट लोकल एक्सपीरियंस, और जो लोकल्स हैं उनका किक स्टार्ट हो इकोनॉमी। एंड वहाँ पर अब ऐसा हाल हो गया है कि दो मदर्स हैं जो होम मेकर्स हैं, दे आर मेकिंग मोर मनी, और जो बच्चे थे माइग्रेशन के उसमें जो छोड़ के ले या बाहर चले गए थे, दे आर नाउ कमिंग बैक बिकॉज दे सी दैट देयर मदर्स आर मेकिंग मोर मनी। सो दिस इज़ अनदर एग्जाम्पल। इनोवेशन सिर्फ रोबोटिक्स और AI नहीं हो सकता, वो एक सोशल इनोवेशन भी हो सकता है। सो दिस इज़ एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ अ सोशल इनोवेशन। थैंक यू। और वहाँ के बहुत सुंदर हैं जो घर हैं, बड़े और इलेबोरेट, सो दे आर वेरी हैप्पी टू होस्ट पीपल, और लोगों को भी बहुत मज़ा आता है और बच्चों को भी बहुत सीखने को मिलता है। सो दिस इज़ एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ हिमालयन फार्म स्टेज। तो ये एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, तो हमारे स्कूल ऑफ टूरिज़्म के बच्चे ये फार्म स्टेज चलाते हैं एंड देन दे लर्न इन द प्रोसेस। और हम अभी हमारा प्लान है टू मेक अ 5-स्टार होटल, ताकि फार्म स्टेज से लेके 5-स्टार होटल्स कैसे सस्टेनेबली रन कर सकें, हाउ लग्जरी एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी कैन को एग्जिस्ट। थर्ड पिलर है कि हम सब कुछ ट्रांसडिसिप्लिनरी करते हैं, जैसे बच्चों को रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम्स दी जाती हैं। एक प्रॉब्लम है लद्दाख में कि विलेजेस खाली हो रहे हैं, चाहे वो पानी की वजह से हो, चाहे वहाँ लाइवलीहुड्स नहीं हैं। तो एक विलेज ऐसे ही खाली हो गया, तो हमारे बच्चों का ये क्वेश्चन था कि हम इसको दोबारा वैली ऑफ फ्लावर्स बना सकते हैं कि नहीं। तो 4 हमारे स्कूल्स केम टुगेदर। तो स्कूल ऑफ इकोलॉजी ने वहाँ एक आइस स्तूपा बनाया, आर्टिफिशियल ग्लेशियर, तो पानी आया उस विलेज में। सेकंड ने वहाँ पर हॉर्टिकल्चर, एग्रीकल्चर किया। थर्ड ने वहाँ पैसिव सोलर घर बनाए, और अभी वो एक टूरिज़्म डेस्टिनेशन है कि कैसे हम रिहैबिलिटेट कर सकते हैं। और 5 साल पहले, 15 साल बाद 1500 किलो आलू वहाँ से हार्वेस्ट हुए, और पूरा का पूरा the entire village has now come back and started living because next year और produce हुआ। और similarly फिर we went to another village जहाँ पर पानी बहुत था, तो artificial glacier बनाने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी, पर वहाँ कोई livelihood नहीं था। So we made it into a trekking destination, and last year it won the best eco village award also. So this is how we bring different disciplines to vitalize villages जो कि बंद हो रहे हैं। So I will end here by just saying that if we integrate Indian knowledge systems, so we know that we have chitta, which is our subconscious and memory. We have manas and buddhi, but in the face of AI, जो कि intuition है, वो हम सोचते हैं कि बच्चे इसको बस लेके पैदा होते हैं, गिफ्टेड चिल्ड्रन, बट इंडियन साइकोलॉजी सेज कि वी कैन डेवलप हायर रेंजेस ऑफ द माइंड। सो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, इंडिया हैज़ टू लीड द वर्ल्ड टू शो हाउ इन द फेस ऑफ AI जो हमारी इनर फैकल्टीज़ हैं, जो ह्यूमन फैकल्टीज़ ही हैं, जो मशीन्स कैन नेवर कॉपी, जैसे हायर रेंजेस ऑफ द माइंड। ChatGPT जस्ट जो ऑलरेडी इंटरनेट पे है उसी को बता सकता है, पर जो फ्यूचर नॉलेज है वो ह्यूमन बींग्स ही क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। तो वी नीड टू बिल्ड सच किड्स, एंड ऑल्सो डीपर रेंजेस ऑफ द हार्ट, एम्पथी, वननेस, जो कि किसी को पता नहीं है। एंड दैट्स व्हाट ब्रिंग्स अस टू द फुल एजुकेशन फॉर द फ्यूचर। और इसको हम थ्रू डेजर्ट फ्लावर स्कूल भी किंडरगार्टन से 12th तक का स्कूल बना रहे हैं, जो कि ऐसा दिखेगा। And it's ready, it will be launched this year. And the architects of the future, to reiterate once again, are the women, and we should have lifelong careers, lifelong learning. I just completed my PhD in this education for the future. और ये जो infographic है, ये Victoria and Albert Museum London में it will be displayed as a permanent exhibit of the future. कि education of the future कैसा होना चाहिए. And this was the result of my PhD. So the learning continues, because it's only when we keep learning, we keep leading. So requesting all the wonderful women in this room, you are the future, you are the leaders, you have to lead, you have to show the world. And please let us reclaim our Shakti and be the leaders of the future. Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful journey. So girls, don't think you're too old to do something new. I just learned swimming a few months back and I'm in my 30s. So thank you, Ms. Gitanjali. A session to unlearn a colonial way of education and going back to our roots. Hope this alternative education becomes the norm. And after looking at these beautiful pictures of Ladakh, I'm sure a lot of people will be visiting. But let's choose farm stays and skip the 5 stars. Just support women of Ladakh. It's an initiative by Ms. Gitanjali and her husband, Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. So let's choose farm stays and experience a different side of Ladakh. And at this point, I think we'll all become ambassadors of Ladakh and suggest people to do that. Okay, moving on. Let's go to our next speaker and hear her praise our Indore. Because what she is doing is of utmost importance, shaping the future of Bharat, building livable, sustainable, and highest quality of cities. She is a force to reckon with. What a great example to have in a very male-dominant society. Miss Karuna Gopal Vartakavi.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Oh my God. I heard Ms. Gitanjali's presentation and I was kind of regretting that I don't have a presentation of my own. To add to the woes, I was given a very boring topic. You know, it's not about what I've done, but it's what about what you can do. So it'll be interesting for me, but it could be boring for you. Anyway, let me start. When I heard her presentation, it just occurred to me that Leh Ladakh Airport, my friends, is being built by the company. I sit on the board of that company. So, you know, we discuss how complicated it is, 6 months of ice, and the kind of technology we used to typically dig through that, and how do our people survive there. So we built it there, and we discussed that, so I was happy to hear her presentation and felt also a little happy. Then in her presentation throughout, we were hearing about sustainability and, you know, the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm again happy to tell you that I represented our country at COP21 at Paris, where the Sustainable Development Goals were announced for the world. So it's actually my privilege that there were 200 presidents and prime ministers, and our prime minister at that time was representing an international conference, first time in the world, and I happened to be there. And it is such a privilege to stand and represent India in a, you know, a sari like this, and talk about emissions and how India can bring down its emissions. I don't know if you know, my friends, India is a country that emits very less. Do you believe that? Why does it emit less? We are a large population, right? Are we bigger than China? We are bigger than China. We are emitting more, but per capita emissions is very less. In spite of being a less emitter, India has taken a big promise saying that we will reduce the emissions, and that has happened in Glasgow. when our Prime Minister announced net zero, and this net zero was talked by my colleague sitting here. So such brilliant things have happened in this country, and I hope I'll be able to just cover just a wee bit of what you guys can do to take India forward. Coming to the net zero, let me start with something very interesting. I think in the year 2015, I was in Singapore, and I was giving a keynote address. And who invited me? The Minister of Environment. And who was the Minister of Environment? Mr. Lawrence Wong. And who is Mr. Lawrence Wong, my friends? He's the current Prime Minister of Singapore. He invited me. We were sitting on the stage like this. This entire hall was filled with 1,500 delegates. They all came in suits, crisp white shirts. They were all seated in white shirts. Typically in our conferences, do you see how people come? They come in suits, right? Suited, booted. Yes or no? Men, typically. But there, everybody came in crisp white shirts, and they were all seated so brilliantly. And I finished my speech, and I asked the organizers, I said, they look so smart sitting there with crisp white shirts. And you know what I was told? They said, the minister told and left an instruction saying that everybody should come in crisp white shirts so that he can keep the temperature low to conserve energy, because he was the environment minister. Now, this is what I call walk the talk. Walk the talk. You know, see, the thing is, as I said, I haven't come prepared with a speech or presentation, but when I heard my colleagues speaking about net zero, sustainability, these are the things that started coming to my mind. In one of the conferences when I was talking, I told them that a building can actually have technologies. Like I remember, many, many years ago, Cisco came to India. The first ever smart building appeared in India, and it was built by Cisco in Bangalore. So Cisco's chairman invited us. His name is John Chambers. Anyone saw John Chambers? A very boisterous man. Yes, do you agree? Very boisterous. He'll not stand here and talk. He'll dance and talk because of his energy. So this man built the smartest building in the country, and he used all the technologies in the world, made an extraordinary place, but it's not energy efficient. So in one of the conversations, I said that we can, in India, using our Vastu, our principles, our material, we can actually make something equally good, equally cool with just our technology, what we call as passive technology, which again, she spoke about. So the point is, India has a whole bunch of treasures, and I think we need to explore that. So friends, when I was invited to talk, they said, what can my girls do for Indore? Are you interested in doing something for the city? Really? Okay. So, you know, when we talk about cities, my friend, cities is not a small business, okay? Cities are very complex beings. Cities are extraordinarily complex. Cities are the economic engines of growth. Cities are what we call in layman's terms the money bags of the country. Almost 70% of the gross domestic product is contributed by cities. Cities, as much as they are innovations of, hubs of innovation and entrepreneurship, they are also vulnerable. They can be attacked by terrorists. A lot of bad things can happen to cities. They can become hubs of disease. So when you're actually planning to work for a city, you should be absolutely clear on what you have to do. I remember when I was barely 22, I think I went on a scholarship to the United States of America. And one of my hosts was driving me through the lanes of the streets there. And whenever they would find a small paper, they would stop and pick up the paper and drive past. Again, pick up garbage. And they used to say, we are taking care of our cities. When I came back to India, I realized in India, imagine how much we have to do. Is it just picking up garbage on the streets, or is it doing much more? We have huge amount of opportunity to do wonderful things in this country. When I went to Italy on a similar program, I realized that they were just taking care of monuments. So simple things look like big things in other countries, whereas in India, to do good for the city, you need to aggregate your talents, you need to aggregate, become women collectives, and start doing a whole bunch of things. And cities are understood differently by different people. You know that? In Vienna, they've done a study. They called men and they said, how do you use a street? Men said, we take the cars, we go to our office, we come back. When we have time, we take our golf kits, go play golf and come back. But when they asked women, they said, in the morning, we walk our pets. By 10 o'clock, if there is a need, we take our mother-in-law to the nursing home. In the evening, we take our kids to play in the parks. So the point is, women are using streets in completely different ways than men. Men are just driving to work and coming back. But women are walking their pets, women are taking their children to the parks, women are taking their elders in wheelchair to nursing homes. So they're used completely in different ways. So how do you design a city? How do you design a city for everyone's convenience? These are big, big, challenges that cities have. And we've worked relentlessly in the last 25 years trying to understand how cities can be made sensible. Now, when coming to actually improving cities, cities are not about just infrastructure, my friends. I can't expect you to lay roads or build a transportation network no. You can take care of people living in cities. You can add quality to their lives. For instance, I remember like many, many years ago, I was invited as a chief guest to a school and I gave a talk like this. And they were all school children. So I just said, people like you can do wonders to the city. There are many government schools, and most of the kids come to the school with no breakfast. For instance, just now Satya Sai Institute, some representative was there. She knows that Swami Satya Sai Baba used to always say that when children go to school, on empty stomachs, they can't focus. So I said the same thing, and I said, why can't some of you just think of giving little milk and a banana? If you can do that, that's great service. And then I think I spoke and I came back. I think after about 2 years, there's this boy who came to me on his birthday, and he said, ma'am, I'd like to take your blessings. And I didn't know who he was. Then his principal told me that he received a UN award for being a young volunteer who brought a lot of changes. You know what he did in the last 2 years? He took my advice. He decided he's going to help government schools and children who come to school with no food in their stomachs. He tied up with Hotel Marriott in Hyderabad and arranged for banana and egg for the kids. And he just brought in one school, then he expanded the network, got 100 schools into the fold, they were getting lunches. And then he tied up with another institution that would give computers. Then he, went and talked to some infrastructure company that built a wall and built toilets for the girls. Today, that boy, he went and received the UN award in New York. He came with the pictures to show me that, ma'am, in just 2 years, I implemented what you casually said and got an award, and he still continues. Today, he's in Himalayas because of the Pitra, fortnight. These are the people who take everything to heart and can change and transform the world. So if you are interested in taking care of your own city, there are hundreds of things that you can do, aggregate your talents. I remember again in one of the school conferences, I said that elderly people and the disabled always feel lonely at home. Do you know that? They feel so lonely at home. So I gave them a project. I said, on weekends, maybe few of you can give 2 hours, spend with senior citizens. And when they started doing that, they actually made it into a big project, and hundreds participated, and many, many girls like her age became my, friends and fans, because they actually started making a difference. And today we find there is a big startup that is giving services like this. Have you heard of the startup? It's a Bombay-based startup. And they have started this where they say that they take volunteers like you, they pay you, but you have to go spend 2 hours with a senior citizen or someone who's disabled at home. And sorry? Anyone, can I have some water? So the point is that there's so much that you can do in terms of adding quality. For instance, how many of you have heard there's something called Mahila Trust? It's in Indore also. So these are the people, you know what they do? They act on climate change. They go to different places and tell them that have a white paint on the houses. How many of you have a white paint on the house? All of you have, right? But how many of you have gone and inspired an entire township to have white paints on their houses? How many of you have done? No. So you have to now start getting together to help others do what you have done for yourself. Like, do you know that the white is the new green? White is the new green, which means greenhouse is something that controls the temperature. If you put a white paint, that's what it does. So white houses are actually for the president, and you'll feel like a president when you sit in a house that you painted with white. So help others, help others. So these are the people who are telling people, they go home and then tell them what kind of gadgets to use to reduce the temperature. I remember many, many, many years ago, there used to be a low housing community in Hyderabad, and they used to get water at different times. I told you it's a boring topic, girls, pay attention. Pay attention, please, because you are going to make a difference. I'm not here to excite you, I'm here to tell you to do something very important. So when there is this low housing there, they used to get water just for 2 hours in a day, just for 2 hours in a day. And they never knew what time the water would come. Sometimes it will come between 2 and 4, sometimes between 12 and 2, sometimes between 9 and 11. So they used to be very frustrated because they could never go out, do shopping, they could never go out, buy vegetables, groceries, do their work, whatever. They used to be frustrated, they used to simply sit at home. So you know what some smart women did in the city? Again, they said, we're going to solve this problem. So they went to the water board and talked to the GM there and said, every day, you tell us exactly when you are going to release water. On Thursday, between 9 and 11. So they would send SMS. I'm not talking about this smartphone era. I'm talking about 25 years ago when I started working with cities. They started sending SMS messages. Today, water will come between 12 and 2. So women would quickly pack their bags, go finish their work, come back by 12. Again, after 2, they would go with their children out to maybe take them to tuitions, etc. So don't you think it's a smart solution that someone came out with? Some smart women like you? These are the things that you people have to plan and do. There are hundreds of things. If you're seriously keen on doing it, then you have to plan and come together to do all these interesting things. Now, typically all my talks and presentations are on things as interesting as maybe artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, but I'm here talking to women in a simple way. And Karuna, Miss Karuna, please conclude. I'm not concluding. Yes? Should I? I want to tell you how you can actually make a difference. If there is any doubt in your minds that you're going to make a difference, just wipe it out of your heads. The point is that you need to be extremely creative when you do your work, and you have to be courageous. Let me give you 2 examples of extreme courage. The first one is about, how many of you have heard of Sundarbans? Yes. You know who protects Sundarbans? What are Sundarbans? That's the ecological asset of the country, right? And who protects them? There are 300 widows who are protecting Sundarbans. And who are these widows? How did they become widows? They became widows because the tigers in Sundarbans killed their husbands. But these women are so courageous. They did not worry about their fragility, economic fragility, not having husbands, not emotional fragility, not having money because husbands are not there. In spite of that, they have taken up the responsibility of protecting Sundarbans. That's the courage, the DNA that Indian women have. You need to seriously follow these kind of examples. Now let me conclude by giving 2 personal examples. As I heard a personal story given by my predecessor, I thought it's not going to be about me, but a time has come I have to share 1 or 2 things. Many people ask me, I started my career many, many years ago in the technology space. I was one of the 3 in the country to have been trained in relational database like Oracle, maybe 30, 35 years ago. And from there, I moved to cities, and many people ask me, how did you transition to cities? So I give an example. I started lecturing IAS officers in the year 2000. And in the year 2000, between 2000 and 2004, I used to get many, many inquiries about, ma'am, how do we improve cities? So my clients were cities, like city of Delhi, city of Vizag, etc. So at that time, one day I got a call from World Bank in Washington, D.C. They said, ma'am, we wish that you participate in a reform program of Delhi Jal Board, speared by who? At that time, the chief minister was Sheila Dikshit. They said, you come. So I was like taken aback because Delhi Jalbo was not my client and I didn't work there. And transition management for a utility is a very, very complex subject. So when I asked them, they said, we are going to arrange your travel ticket. All you have to do is just participate in the meeting. So I said, okay. And the call came, the next day the call came, and they said, ma'am, is it at all possible for you to give a small presentation on transition management? So I was like, transition management and for a utility reform, my friends, is a very complex area, and Sheila Dikshit is going to be there. So, but then I knew that they were asking me because they had no one who would do that other than me. So I agreed. And I asked them, who will be there in the meeting? They said the chief secretary, chief minister, representatives of World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Adam Smith Institute. They gave a long list of all experts. I'm talking, this is about when? 20 years back, 21 years back. And you can imagine my age, I was very young. I said, I'll make a presentation. The flight was at 6 in the morning. The night, I get a call. They said, ma'am, will you be able to steer the meeting? Did you get? Will you be able to steer the meeting, not make a presentation? What does steering the meeting mean? I have to start the meeting by saying, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm here to guide you through the whole process of Delhi Jal Board Reform Program, and I am an authority on the subject. This is what they expected. And I had the shock of my life because it was very new for me. I never had a grip on Delhi utility. And Delhi is a complex place. But again, I realized that the World Bank calling from DC, Washington DC is actually asking me this question, which means they trust me to do it. I agreed. That is the courage with which I went. I navigated the whole discussion, then invited again and again by the World Bank and others to create a vision for not only Delhi Jal Board, but for cities. So I'm saying if you don't have courage, there's no way you're going to make any kind of difference to the world. You have to take the bull by the horns. You got what I'm saying? You have to take the bull by the horns. Have faith, because sometimes we don't have faith in yourself, but others will have faith in yourself. They had faith in me. The last one that I would give an example is, in the year 2005, I started a program called Citizens for City. 2005 is like how many years back? 20 years back. At that time, people literally laughed at me saying that, ma'am, is this a possibility? Citizens will actually sculpt a city? I said, they will. And when I ran the program, I will show you what I have come out with. People from everywhere, including ISRO, Singapore firms, everyone participated in that. I created a compendium of 21 strategies to create livable cities for India. And people took the smart cities concept emanated from there, the smart parking emanated from there, and energy from footsteps emanated from there. That was declared by Narendra Modi ji, who, after he became the Prime Minister, as the national best practice. 2005, what I have done. So again, it takes a lot of courage to change your city, to come together and work. So if you're very keen on bringing any change to your Indore, you get in touch with me. We'll make it the safest city if you're interested. No, zero rape city. Would you like to make it zero rape city? Are you with me? Zero rape city. Would you like to work with me on that? If you are, then I'll hear from you. You will not hear from me. Okay? So that's all I have to say. There's so much to say, but anyway, as I said, what is important is to really believe that you will make a difference to your beautiful city. And just because women are beautiful, it doesn't mean you'll only beautify the city, add value to the city qualitatively. So make it zero rape city. All the very best.
Thank you, Ms. Karuna, for your futuristic approach. This is why we need women on advisory and decision-making positions. You have such an inclusive approach, which is essential to build a place fit for everyone. Mostly we have these dining table talks where we are talking about the problems of the world, which just stays there, but you are actually doing something about it. So thank you so much. Now, it's time to chat with Chani. Chani, please take it forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Prachi. I like the name Chat with Chani. So, makes me feel like coffee with Karan, but better. So, we've heard such inspiring stories, such motivating words. We will quickly take one question each. Gitanjali ma'am, there's something different that what I'm going to ask you. Not from, because we've heard your story, we know what you're doing. You're doing many things and you were inspired. Do you think when we call women that they're superhumans, they can do everything, they can do so many things, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think we overstretch ourselves sometimes just to prove that we're doing so many things and feel nice about it? Or do you think we are taking too much on ourselves?
So I started my talk with likening all of you here as Shaktis, right? And in the material world, she represents herself as Prakriti. So it's never too much that she is doing. There is sun rising here, a flower blooming there, a river flowing there. So all is happening. So multitasking is a very bad word. I don't like it. It's like bird-brained people who are doing too many things, which is not a great thing. But the ability to integrally manage a whole, okay, a systemic issue or a problem or a situation, but with depth of understanding, with depth of skill, with depth of knowledge. I think that's what women are capable of. When a woman is caring for her child, I don't think she stops caring for her husband or her parent, or if she's a professional, not meet her deadlines. But it is how we do it. And from my example, I can tell you that while building HIAL last 3 years, I could complete a PhD in just 3 years, So you can do deep things. And while I teach students karate in the morning, 6 to 7:30, I do games in the evening. It is being present. We waste a lot of energy when we are distracted. I think when we are in the moment, and so spirituality, it comes naturally to women more than it comes to man. You may not believe it, because women were kept out of it. You know why they were kept out of it? Because patriarchy wanted that the houses are run, household is run, But women, if they become rishikas, if they become yoginis, and leaders of the world, I think that energy which they bring, it's not a very superficial multitasking, but a deep understanding, engaging, and doing all that they can.
Thank you so much. I think it's a very, very good perspective that we have. Karuna ma'am, when I was going through your profile, there was so much. I did not know what to ask and what to skip. But I'll ask one thing, probably because we heard so much about the kind of work you've done, the way you've led. But there's something I want to know, I think which will resonate with most people here. When you began probably very early. How difficult was it for you to make your voice heard, or probably be accepted, or sometimes maybe you did not expect things were going the way they should? Did you ever lose confidence? How reassuring were you about, how were you reassured about your work, and how were you very sure that this is what I'm going to do? And how did you start? Too many questions, I know.
Okay, this is audible, right? Yeah. So there was never a moment when I lost my confidence. Maybe because I was doing everything that I wanted to do, and for me, everything, I was looking into the future. So anything that is new has always inspired me. For instance, I can give you a whole bunch of examples that I have done, which are today with the government as a general practice. At that time, they laughed at my idea. For instance, what I talked to you about in 2005, they literally laughed. Then I worked on certification program for low-cost housing. At that point in time, nobody understood. Low-cost housing was, you build a house, give to the poor man, he'll be very happy. But what is the material you're using? What's the kind of switches you are giving? What if he dies of shock when he switches on to use something? These are the things. I worked with a company called TUV Rhineland in Germany. This is again 25 years ago. And we worked on what is called as service level benchmarks. Like in the sense, service level benchmarks for utilities. Nobody even understood the word. Some IAS officers would get up and say, ma'am, what is that? I still remember, some of the videos are also there when I was speaking. Maybe a MD CEO of a utility, an IAS officer with a gold medalist would get up and say, what is the service level benchmark? And we created it. Today, it is mandatory. Government has made it mandatory. Then we wanted something called ISO standards for municipal corporations 20 years back. And my office with brigadiers and the wing commanders, I had only armed forces people work in my office because I thought they were brilliant. End of day, they would give me end of day report. So we worked on something so unique. today the government is making it happen as a mandatory thing. So imagine something 20 years back, what I envisaged, I worked on with pure conviction, actually became a law and a regulatory requirement today. So it will never, nothing ever pulled me back. You know, at that time, people, the more they laughed, the more I thought I needed to go further. So that's the reason why perhaps in other countries I'm more popular than my own country. I shared stage with Putin 3 months ago with the Russian president. I shared stage with many presidents, and I get invitations only from prime ministers and presidents of other countries, maybe because they know I am bold and I think differently.
I think I should not speak a word after this, because the way you ended it, it totally, talks about our theme for the day. Prachi, over to you.
Thank you. And I think at this point we need a book from you. And if you want to know more, follow her on Twitter. Okay. Now, बहुत दूर-दूर से speakers आए हैं, थोड़ा सा करीब आते हैं, अपने शहर में. हर साल हम इंदौर की जो sports prodigies हैं, उनका सम्मान करते हैं. This year we have Sanvi Kalanki, a student of Shishukunj International School. She is an accomplished Indian junior squash player from Indore who represents India and recently ranked #1 in Asia. She has won a silver medal at the 32nd Asian Junior Individual Squash Championship in 2025, held in South Korea. Here, she beat the then Asia's #1 player from Hong Kong to enter the finals. And recently, she clinched a gold in the girls under 17 at the Central India Slam 2025, defeating top seeds to claim the championship. She is a promising athlete with a strong state presence. Let's play the AV of Sanvi. Come up on the stage to receive a recognition award. And I request IMA President Mr. Naveen Khandelwal to come up on the stage to present it with the speakers. Congratulations, Sanvi, and all the best for your future. Indore is very proud of you. Recently, IMA did an event on sustainability, a very hot topic right now, where participants had to showcase their daily contributions towards it. हम अपनी day-to-day life में ऐसा क्या कर सकते हैं जिससे हमारा carbon footprint कम से कम natural resources का wastage हो, reuse, recycle करने की practice करें. बहुत छोटे-छोटे changes बहुत बड़ा result दे सकते हैं. ऐसी सोच से ये event किया गया था. बस कुछ नहीं, अपनी दादी और नानी की तरह life lead करना. Embracing of use it up, fix it up, make it do or do without approach. We had an amazing response with 31 participants competing by giving a demonstration or a video presentation. The awards were in 2 categories: Best Sustainable Practices at Home and Best Sustainable Practices at Workplace. And The winner of the Best Sustainable Practice at Home category was Miss Neha Agrawal. I request Neha to please come up on the stage and receive the award.
During its all.
The award for Best Sustainable Practice at Workplace goes to Acropolis Institute Team Safe, led by Dr. Bhale Rao. I request the participants to please come on the stage. Congratulations to both the teams. We hope you continue to practice sustainability and inspire others. Congratulations. Now today, along with inspiring conversations and brilliant speakers, we are also giving you something truly unique, our very own conclave currency called Shines. Let's have the Shine currency details on the screen. Yes, you heard it right, no boring coupons, no dull slips. This conclave has its own sparkle. Every time you ask a thoughtful question, share your experience on social media, LinkedIn, etc., visit a partner stall, or engage with sessions, you earn Shines. Here on the screen, you can see how you can earn them and their value. And what you can do with these Shines? Well, just like real currency, you can redeem them for little joys, a token of love from IMA. So keep your eyes open, your minds curious, because at this conclave, ideas will inspire you. But it's the Shines that will reward you. Collect them at the end of the conclave from the DCBM booth, use them, flaunt them, and let's make the whole day sparkle together. We have another way of winning prizes today. Go to IMA Instagram page, you will see a QR code. Scan it, and it will lead you to our social media page, which will have a question on it. Whoever answers it correctly first wins a prize at the end of the conclave. So lots to gain today. After every session, we also give you a quick review in the form of takeaways of the session. As it ends, within a minute, they will be on the screen. ये हमारी टीम ChatGPT से भी ज़्यादा फास्ट है. This team will be sitting through all sessions and listening to each and every speaker attentively. So click a picture of these key points for recalling later on. That's it from my side. I thank our speakers. What a great, invaluable sights and learning. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank our shining main sponsors, Punjab Jewels, and associate sponsor, Emerald Developers, for always supporting our conclave. Now, I call upon CA Rupal Mehta to take up the next session. Thank you and see you next year. But I think Chani wants to say something, so stage is hers.
So before we move on to the next session, we've talked about the future, but future is not just spoken. It's built by people like these. And it starts here with us. So today, we won't just listen, we'll commit. Not just to ideas, but to actions. Not just to now, but to tomorrow. As one voice, one community, let's take this pledge together, line by line, word by word. Let every voice in this hall echo into tomorrow. While I say the pledge, I request you to put your hand on your heart and feel while I say. Together we dream, together we rise. Bolder, brighter together, our future lies. With wisdom we grow, with care we create. A world that is just inclusive and great. Together we rise, together we shine. Let's create a future that's yours and mine. This is not the end of our inaugural session. This is the beginning of our future, and we have pledged it together. Thank you so much. Thank you, speakers. I would now request CA Rupal Mehta, founder, Grow HRFI, to please come up for the next session.